Hey everyone, hello, hello. I think this is the most exciting live I think I've had for you all week. I've got a special guest coming on today, so I just cannot wait for you to hear from who I'm about to bring onto this live because honestly, who I'm about to invite on doesn't need any introduction. He doesn't need any introduction at all whatsoever. I'm sure you can guess who he is. He's spoken in 39 different countries, served 287,000 customers. And do you know what's... I'm going to bring him on now. I think you can guess who it is. It's my coach, Frazer. Let's go. That's how technology works today. Hey, Fraser. Let's see if this works. Oh, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, doing amazing. Thanks. You can hear me all right, right?
Yeah, it's been clear. Where are you now, Fraser? Because I know you're still traveling, are you?
I'm in Varna in Bulgaria for a few more days before we go on crazy tour.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's nice
oh,
and it's nice and warm. The skies are blue and everything's good. It's not rain. Is it raining there?
no, we've got the sun today. It's not too bad. I've been to Liverpool and back, been past your old.
Nice. Well, hey, I'm excited to be with you.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I seen the sign as I was driving into Liverpool. They put a new sign up. It says "Have a Boss Day," and I'm like,
So
oh,
Liverpool.
Phil. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm so grateful that you're on. I was just saying to everybody, you don't need any introduction whatsoever. But you know, apart from all the things that you've done, like speaking in all the different countries and all the people that you've helped, do you know what stands out for me is that you genuinely make everybody feel like they matter.
Mm.
Do you know? Whether you're a top $1 million income earner or you're like just starting out, you
Mhm.
feel like you matter. And I know you've helped me massively on my journey,
Mhm.
and I'm just so grateful for you.
Ah,
Um,
thank you. I can tell you very quickly how that became a thing. So I believe everyone should write their own kind of like their like core five or core 10, the things that if you write and you pass it down to your children, they will pass it down to their children and their children, so that one day, maybe a kid goes to the parent and says like, what are these principles all about? And then they can tell the story about their great grandmother or great granddad. But my granddad used to always say, treat everyone like a someone. And then I remember meeting someone and asking them for a photo when, like, maybe 15 years ago, and they basically just brushed me off and says, no, like, you're not in my team, you're not a certain rank, you're not this or you're not that. And I was like, you know what? One day when I have success, I want to make sure that everyone and anyone I'll take the time for everyone and anyone, because genuinely anyone can be a someone in this game.
yeah,
And you don't want that person to be able to tell the story of like,
ignore
that guy's the
it.
yeah was the reason why I'm here, because he really upset me. I don't know, it's always there's always a reason to it, for sure.
I love that from you guys. Do you know what? That's almost like, you know, the way limiting beliefs are passed down, aren't they? Limiting beliefs, like money doesn't grow on trees. All the negative ones get passed down. I love
Yeah,
the fact that you're actually changing it and passing some positive. I love that.
yeah,
I'm definitely going
and it's funny with limited beliefs. Like, all you need is to hear a story that's bigger than the limiting belief you have. So, like, if
to.
people out there are like, "Oh, network marketing's a pyramid thing," like, I would never do it, because as soon as you hear a story that's like stronger than that, like, "Hey, I totally understand what you're saying. Like, I was in a similar situation, but let me tell you why it's not a pyramid thing,"
Yeah.
right? And if the right person hears that at the right time, they change their entire belief system. So it's funny how it works. That's for sure.
Cool. Right. Well, I've got some questions for you, if that's all right.
Yeah, let's do it. That's awesome.
You obviously, before you became a generic coach, you built like successful network marketing business yourself first, didn't you? So, what was the one thing that you wish you did at the start of your journey that everybody could learn from?
Well, the very start, I said no. So my dad was like adamant that I was going to be an easy sign up. right? So 18th birthday, I just blew the candles out of the cake. I love fruitcake, so like I was honestly, I could not wait to have this cake. And my dad brought me into his office and kind of gave me a first official presentation. And I remember being like, nope, 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 nope. And if I think about it now, because I understand the compound effect, and I believe everyone really needs to understand the compound effect, I believe that because I said no for 4 years to my dad, if I'd have said yes to him and like I multiply the income that I make now by four, that is the amount of money that I wasted because I'd be 4 years ahead, right?
Yeah,
So I wish I said yes sooner. I wish I took it serious. I wish I took it more serious sooner. But at the same time, I'm super grateful for how things played out. You know,
yeah,
like because I think a lot of times when we think about what would we have done differently, it could have taken us down a completely different path, completely different direction, and I'm just so grateful how it all turned out. But yeah, I would have definitely taken it seriously more sooner, and just believing that network marketing is the greatest thing. Although I saw it was the greatest thing, I didn't believe it myself because my limiting beliefs, right?
yeah.
But yeah, I just wish I said yes sooner.
I think it's funny you should say that because I think you're right. I think even though you can think this is what I would have done differently, sometimes everything's happening for a reason, isn't it? You know, like I was stuck in my business for a number of years at the same income level,
Mhm.
and I could you could say I wish I joined the inner circle sooner to explode my
Yeah.
business. But all the things that I learned on the way, like resilience, determination, grit, you know, like, and that brought me to that point of, right, I'm ready to invest in myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah,
It's all part of it.
it's
It's
all
all part of it, isn't it?
so,
Uh,
right. So if somebody was on the fence about starting a network marketing business, what would you tell them?
yeah. Well, hey, I think first and foremost, if someone's on the fence, it means they're thinking about something or they're doubting something. So it's establishing like, hey, if you had like a list of reasons why they're not doing it, it's either going to be something like, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I'm a fear of judgment.
Yeah,
Maybe there's fear, but the big one is the fear of like, it's the fear of like shame and self doubt. Like it's that whole idea of like I just don't think I could do it. Another big one is like my spouse doesn't really kind of agree with it. You tell them like I think I'm going to do this thing, and they're like, no, 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 you shouldn't do that thing. It's a load of rubbish. Da, 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 da. So the first thing is I would say, what's the worst that can happen? And then what's the best that can happen? So I always love that. I used to do this as my close when I used to speak on, speak at events and do like the closing speech on my story was if a company come to you and said, hey, there's this stock on the stock market, it's just about to go on the stock market and it's going to launch at $100. Now, we've got some inside information that it's either going to hit zero very, very quickly, or within a few years, it's going to be 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. How
yeah.
many shares? How many shares do you want? Now,
Oh,
some people then go, oh well, I don't have the money or I don't have the time to put into it, or I'll go speak to my partner about it, or I just need some time to think about it, or like, but what if it doesn't work out and I've put all my hopes and dreams into this thing and like it doesn't work out for me, and like, what happens if people think it's wrong, or what happens if it's an unethical thing and it's too good to be true? The worst that can happen is you lose $100. The best that can happen is you make millions of dollars. The same applies in network marketing. So if someone's on the fence, I would literally say, okay, I totally understand. Clearly, there's something I've not explained to you. That's on me. There's
yeah,
not enough information for you to make an informed decision. But like, what do you see as the absolute worst case scenario? They tell them, "Oh, I lose money and like I lose the time that I don't have in the first place, or the money I didn't have in home." My husband says, "I told you so." Okay, and then what's the best case? Like, where can you genuinely imagine yourself 5, 10 years from now with this opportunity? 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 100,000 a month. Okay, so you're telling me you're prepared to say no to the 5, 10, 20,000 a month because you're afraid of this little one thing here. When they understand the big picture, they tend to make a decision, and whether that's a yes or a no. And that's all you got to do. Get them off the fence to say a yes or a no. That's all you can do.
That's powerful. Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. What's the
Mhm.
worst on the best? And do you know what? I bet people don't actually think that often about what the best case scenario in their life is.
Never do.
Like, what do you want? You know, like, is your mind even open to them possibilities of
Mhm.
what your life could be like? So
Yeah.
I like
Liz,
that.
you mentioned limiting beliefs before, right? How many people out there, me included, right? How many people out there who are watching this think like those things aren't made for us? People like us don't get lives like that. We're never going to be able to drive cars like that. Those houses are never for us. Like, like council estate mindset or like personality mindset or like we've got to go get a job, otherwise our family won't be proud of us. Like we're not entrepreneurial. Like we haven't got the time because we've got to look after 2, 3, 4 kids. There's so many limiting beliefs that genuinely just force you to look at the worst case instead of the best case. It's the craziest thing. I used to always think about like if I have a party, right, and I invite 100 people, like I always used to think, what if no one turns up?
Yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of what if 50 people turn up? Right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be the best night ever. Like it's just how we think, you know?
yeah. And to be honest, you're probably going to attract that no one turning up if that's what you think all the time, isn't it?
100%. 100%. 100%. Crazy how it works.
It is.
Uh-huh.
So okay, so yeah, I'm totally going to try that actually because I've got loads of conversations in the middle. So I'm going to try
In the
that
middle.
question.
Yeah, in the middle.
Right. So, what do you feel is the most important skill to learn when you first start, or as a network marketer in general?
Yeah, it's a good one because there are so many skills. If I think of like Eric Worre's GoPro book, and I think of the 7 skills that you got to finding people, lead generation, then inviting, presenting, following up, closing, getting started, promoting events. I think promoting events will make the biggest impact on your business, right? So like having like 100 people at a huge event, right? I know you've got a big one coming up in Las Vegas, right? At the end of this month, I think, right? Obviously, it's a long way to go for a lot of people. But if there's like 10 people in Las Vegas or there's an event in London, there's 50 people in London, that's the event that makes people go, oh, this is way bigger than I ever thought. And then they start thinking of the best case. So that's the most powerful. I think the best skill is finding people. If you can get really good at having a high number of connections and get really good at quality conversations, it's inevitable that you're going to win. I think a lot of people they don't win because I ran out of people to talk to, or I don't really want to talk to these people. Like I think finding people, like a lot of people, and having conversations with these people, I would say those are the most important skills because it's inevitable, and you know how it is because you speak to a lot of people every single day. Like you go to bed thinking, I wonder what tomorrow's going to bring, and then you wake up, you grab your phone and you check your messages to see, has anyone messaged me back? Has anyone? So like the energy around that is so powerful. They say the fortune's in the follow-ups, but so many people are petrified of following up. Therefore, the energy is not there. Therefore, then it's probably not the best skill to have. So yeah, new connections, finding people, I would say, is the absolute best for sure.
It's because it's funny, isn't it? Because when you start off, you've got your social media with your friends on. I think I had 80 friends when I first started.
I love it. Me too.
80 friends, and like that was one of the core things that I did. I spent probably like 5 years consistently. I was adding 15, 20 people a day,
Mhm.
no matter what. Like I started with suggested friends, and then I started going making friends in groups and stuff. So the things that you teach, Fraser, like
Mhm.
business PDs and yeah, because if you bring in new eyes to your business all the time,
Mhm.
it's going to help with both your sales and your team in it. So
100, and again, you kind of like. I feel like if you put a load of water in a glass and you just leave it there, right? The water represents your contacts and the glass is you. And you just like leave it there for days and weeks. Eventually it just starts to smell. It's just disgusting. It just stinks, right? And like you're going in there and you're like, oh, you wouldn't drink from the water, so you stop talking to people about it. Like you have to pour the water out.
yeah,
Right, fresh water in, like you've got a plant in there, and there's like the water's gone stagnant. Like you got to replace the water, you got to recycle the water, you got to bring in, because it just creates new energy and it allows you to get so much more fired up about the business. But a lot of people, they aren't prepared to do to do the dirty work, because they're like, oh well, I don't want to. I've got, this is what I used to think. I've got my family and I've got my friends. I don't need any. I don't need, right. I don't need anyone else. But the reality is, now I'm where I am, right? If I look back to where I was, because often I like to look back and see like, oh wow, so much has changed. When I look back, I think my days, I have so many incredible friendships now. Most people I haven't even met. I've got so many incredible friendships. I cannot even imagine the idea of not meeting them.
Yeah,
So like if I just said, oh, I've got my friends, I've got my family, I'd be doing the same thing, talking about the same thing, and there'd be no growth. There'd be zero growth. So people are afraid of growth. People are afraid to change, but I'm definitely not, and I know you're not. So
so
yeah,
it's really
things happen.
talking about this on a live the other day because I was talking about how, like the reason I started was initially for money.
Hmm.
And if someone said to me, join this business, you'll make loads of friends, I'd have been like, you're all right, I've got enough, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, the friendships and the growth. You can't even imagine how you evolve as a person when you get around different people, can you? It's just
No.
so good.
And
Yeah,
you'll often stay in this profession because of the people who you meet as well, right? Whether they're like mentors and they keep you going, or you're like, if I do quit that business, like I probably won't be as close to that group of people, and I really love that group of people. There's so much more adventure, fun, experience, relationships. Everything's just so much better as a result.
100%. Thank
Uh-huh.
you so
You're
much. You're
welcome.
amazing.
So you've.
This week. Thank you. If anybody's watching who doesn't know Fraser, you've got your free platform now, haven't you? The Fraser Plus launched. So
Yeah.
I'm obviously in Fraser's Inner Circle, which is absolutely phenomenal. If you're not in there and you can afford it, get in. But I love that you've launched the Fraser Plus as well, because that means anybody who's brand new has got a learning platform where they can go and start getting all that free resource.
Mhm.
You're just amazing, the amount that you serve the industry. I love
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited for you. I know you've got a lot of energy going on, a lot of movement, a lot of excitement. So keep going because you're helping a lot of people.
Thank you. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. I
All right.
appreciate you, Fraser. Thank
All right.
you.
All right.
And
Bye,
I'll see you.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye.